If you asked anyone at Morgan Robotics who the biggest problem in the engineering division was, they'd probably say me. Not because I broke things. Okay, sometimes because I broke things. But mostly because I had an unfortunate habit of asking why every 5 minutes. Why are we using outdated actuator arrays? Why is the safety protocol slower than my grandmother's internet? Why does this coffee taste like it has emotional damage? People found that exhausting. I found it efficient. By 22, I had already been working here for 4 years after graduating university ridiculously early. Being called a genius sounded glamorous until you realized it mostly meant everyone expected you to fix impossible problems before lunch. The elevator doors slid open onto floor 47, the Robotics Development Division, my natural habitat. The smell of solder, machine oil, and burnt caffeine greeted me like an old friend. Morning, Belle. Morning. Please don't explode anything today. No promises. The intern sighed. I hadn't even clocked in yet. A new personal record. Morgan Robotics wasn't just any robotics company. By 2060, we'd become the world leader in autonomous systems, biomechanical limbs, artificial intelligence integration, and keeping massive secrets. Not that I knew that last part. Yet. I tossed my backpack onto my desk. Nora leaned over the divider immediately. You are late. I am exactly 3 minutes late. You were supposed to present the neural synchronization report. I also planned to sleep 8 hours. You slept 3. I slept eventually. She rubbed her temples. I don't know why we're friends. Because I'm delightful. You are a walking disaster. I prefer creative hurricane. She snorted despite herself. Mission accomplished. Across the room. He arrived. Nick. The office somehow became quieter. Not because people liked him. Because people respected him enough to stop talking. Perfect posture. Perfect suit. Perfect hair. Perfect annoying existence. He walked with the confidence of someone who had never accidentally emailed a meme to the CEO. I hated people like that. Correction, I hated him. He didn't even look around. Just placed his coffee on his desk, opened 3 holographic screens, started working. Robot. Actual robot. Rhea appeared beside me carrying a wrench. Your boyfriend's here. I almost choked on my coffee. I would rather date a microwave. They're both emotionally unavailable. Nora didn't even look up from her tablet. She's not wrong. Traitors. Every single one. At exactly 9 o'clock. Belle, I froze. Nick, standing beside my desk. Expression unreadable. Eyes annoyingly blue. How were his eyes always that blue? Did he update them every software patch? What? You submitted the wrong simulation. No, I submitted version 14. You submitted version 14B. That's a better version. It bypasses 6 safety checks. They were inefficient. They existed for a reason. So does duct tape. Silence. Around us. R&T. People slowly stopped pretending not to listen. Nick inhaled, very slowly. The board requested the approved version. I improved the approved version. You ignored instructions. I optimized them. His eyebrow twitched. Victory. Tiny, but victory. You cannot modify official files without authorization. You mean I shouldn't improve company technology? I mean follow protocol. I mean protocol is scared of innovation. You mean chaos? I mean progress. Dun. Raya whispered from somewhere behind me. 5 credits says Belle wins. Someone else whispered. 10 says Nick. This happened often enough that people had betting pools. Nick leaned closer. You know what your problem is? I've got a list. You assume intelligence excuses recklessness. I smiled. You know what your problem is? No. You iron your lab coat. Nah. That's irrelevant. Irrelevantly weird. Someone laughed. Nick closed his eyes for exactly 1 second. I considered that a standing ovation. The meeting started before either of us could continue. Dr. Elias Morgan himself entered the conference room. The CEO rarely appeared in person. Today, he looked tired, older than usual. His silver hair was slightly messy. Dark circles framed his eyes. He smiled anyway. Good morning. Everyone greeted him. A holographic model appeared in the center of the table. Covered, encrypted. Classified? Interesting. Dr. Morgan looked around carefully. Our newest project has entered its final development stage. Every engineer leaned forward. Even Nick. Especially Nick. The project designation, the hologram flickered. M13. Nobody spoke. I'd never heard of it. Which meant one thing. Secret. Very secret. Our top engineers will begin evaluation next week. He looked directly at Nick. Mr. Carter. Nick nodded once. You'll oversee testing. Then, for the smallest fraction of a second, Dr. Morgan looked at me. His smile disappeared. Dr. Miss Bell. Yes, I expect you to stay away from Laboratory 9. Excuse me? The room became strangely quiet. I blinked. I wasn't planning to go there. Good. Oh, ... Do not enter under any circumstances. That was oddly specific. The meeting ended. Everyone dispersed, except me, because now I absolutely wanted to know what was in Laboratory 9. Human psychology was funny like that. Tell me not to press a button. I'm already halfway toward pressing it. Nora caught up with me. I know that face. What face? The face that gets us suspended. I have no idea what you're talking about. You want to investigate? I merely have academic curiosity. You are going to get fired. I'll get fired intelligently. She sighed. Again. I'm not helping. I didn't ask. You were about to. I was. The rest of the morning passed in relative peace, meaning only one robot exploded, technically. It wasn't really an explosion, more of an aggressive disassembly. Bell, it detached enthusiastically. The arm flew through a wall. Physics is beautiful. Around lunchtime, the cafeteria was packed. I grabbed food, looked for an empty seat. Every table was full, looked for an empty seat, except one, across from Nick. Absolutely not. I turned. Every other chair disappeared as coworkers suddenly found fascinating reasons to occupy them. Cowards. Rhea waved enthusiastically. Go sit. I'd rather stand. You've been standing. I'll continue. Nick looked up from his tablet. You can sit. It sounded less like kindness, Todd, more like granting diplomatic access. I'll survive. So will the floor. Was that a joke? I stared. He returned to reading. Maybe I'd imagined it. I sat, mostly because my legs were tired. For 2 whole minutes, silence. Then, you skipped breakfast. I looked up. What? You only skip breakfast when your handwriting is messy. You analyzed my handwriting? You left notes in the lab. That's creepy. It's observational. It's forensic. You nearly passed out yesterday. Thought. I noticed. He nodded once, returned to eating. That was unexpectedly considerate. Weird. Very weird. Before I could think about it further, the cafeteria lights flickered. Just once. Everyone looked up. Then they returned to eating. Except me. Something about that flicker felt wrong, like the building had blinked. I shook the thought away. Probably a power fluctuation. Nothing more. I had no idea that somewhere beneath our feet, something had just awakened. And for reasons I couldn't possibly understand, it already knew my name. End of chapter 1.